Okay, we're going to take a look at editing 360 imagery in photo using live equirectangular projection. So let's just take a look at the image we're working with here. We can see it's a pre-stitched 360 by 180 panoramic image, but I didn't quite take enough shots to cover the bottom pole of the 360 panorama. So our first port of call is going to be filling this area with some kind of detail. Now then, to enter this live projection mode, making sure we have the correct layer selected here, we simply go to Layer, Live Projection and Equirectangular Projection. Okay, so we're now in the live projection mode and we can click drag around to pan around our 360 image. And up on the context toolbar here we have individual heading, pitch and field of view controls. So we can tighten the field of view by reducing it, or we can increase it for a wider perspective. And just to note that this projection is non-destructive. It's just a live projection of our 2D image. So let's find that bottom pole that's missing all the detail that we talked about earlier. Position our canvas just so. Then let's pick up the Inpainting brush tool. Okay, and I'm going to increase the brush size, and what I'll do is just fill in the edges where I want to inpaint. Use a larger brush size to cover the middle white area. Then use a smaller brush and then move across to the tripod head. And once I'm done, release the mouse button. Okay, so there we go. That's done a fairly reasonable job of filling in the missing detail at the bottom pole. Now then, at this point you'll probably notice we've lost our control of panning and zooming around the live projection, and that's because we switched to another tool on the toolbar. So there are two ways we can get this back. One is to use a shortcut key if you're comfortable with that, which will be listed here. And the other way is to select the Move tool, and then up here choose Edit Live Projection. And there we go, we're back to being able to pan and zoom around the projection. So then, just to demonstrate what happens if we start to add additional layers on top of this base pixel layer, I'm going to go in and add a hue, saturation, lightness adjustment. And let's just crank the saturation up a tad. Now you'll notice here, again, we've lost control of our panning and zooming. And in order to re-enter the live projection mode, we have to select the pixel layer that we applied it to. So the HSL adjustment has no live projection applied to it. So we can click back to the background pixel layer, and once again, there we go, Edit Live Projection now appears. And it's worth noting that unless you specifically add live projection to each layer that you introduce, they will ignore live projection. So as we can see here, the HSL adjustment is applied throughout the entire image. Okay, so all very well and good, we've made our edits. Now how do we get back to the original image? If we were to go to File, Export, as it were, we would end up just exporting this particular projection or view. So to get back to our original unmapped image, we simply go to Layer, Live Projection and Remove Projection. And there we go, we're back to where we started. And so we can now go ahead and export this image to be used for an external application. For example, you can then use this image with a web-based 360 viewer. Okay, so that covers the basics of live equirectangular projection editing. If you have any questions or queries, please do ask on the Affinity forums, and don't forget to check out the other video tutorials. Thank you for watching.